Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm David, this is Webfoot Resin and Wood Creations, and I'm going to do another video on making a board. This one is going to be blue, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. This is another attempt at letting you guys know that I have an affiliation now with Easy Pour Epoxy. So this resin that I'll be using is an example of what you can do with Easy Pour Epoxy. So the last one I didn't get very good information and stuff in the video, so I'm going to do it again, and so hopefully this time it's a little better done. So if you order a kit, it'll come like this. It's a premium epoxy resin. You get a gallon, but two 1/2 gallon jugs of epoxy. It's 1 for 1, so you'll get resin A, and you'll get the hardener resin B. So those two will both come in. They'll have a blue stopper in the top. They'll both have a blue stopper in the top in order to help seal it off. Also in the kit you'll get 2 cups. I have used these cups, so they're not pristine, but you'll get 2 cups, same size. You can do it by milliliters or you can do it by ounces. So again, it's 1 for 1. The first board I did by weight. The next boards that I've done by volume. So either way you can do it. I did notice that B is lighter than A, so if you do use weight you're going to get different amounts. So I've resigned to the fact that I'm going to do it by volume, so it works both ways. Also in the kit you get a rubber spatula, which is great because it works for all resins. And you also get a scraper, which you can use for spreading the resins, especially if you're doing tabletops or covering a thin layer of top coat. It works for that as well. And these cups only go up to 56 ounces. So if you're doing a very large project, if you go more than 35 ounces in each cup, you can't mix them in this cup. So get yourself something like an ice cream bucket from the grocery store. It works well. I was able to do over 2,100 grams or 2,100 ounces in this bucket, and it worked great for doing a big project like a board pour for a serving board. Also in my last video in the comments I had some nice comments, and Layla asked me some great questions. So for those that do know your resins and stuff and understand how it works, she was asking about working time. The box says 40-minute working time, and you do have every bit of 40 minutes. Now setup time is dependent on the ambient temperature in the shop and outside. One of the boards that I did was hard to the touch within 2 hours. But everything that I do, I leave in the mold overnight for at least 12 to 24 hours before I take it out of the mold. That way I know that it's completely set up good. For those that use heat or temperature for keeping your colors separated, this I have not had enough chance to figure out what temperature to pour it at in order to keep the colors from bleeding. At this point I would probably wait 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and then pour it in order to keep the colors from bleeding. So again, I haven't used it enough to figure out a temperature to keep them from bleeding, but I know that the two colors, when I do a board, bleeding is not a concern because I'm not trying to keep separation. I want them to mix together and give me those effects in the boards. Also, she was asking about, can it be used for other projects? Yes. I've done 3 or 4 handle blanks in Jenks molds, the handle blank molds. I've done 2 or 3 of those, and they come out, they turn great on the lathe. There is a slight smell. You can tell that it is an epoxy resin, that it's not a urethane resin like Aluminite clear slow is. But it is an epoxy resin. There will be a slight smell. Nothing that's overwhelming, nothing that stopped me from using it. It's nothing like a polyester resin. I would compare it to like black diamond or what is it? Total Boat or liquid diamonds. One of those resins, because I have turned pen blanks out of those, and the smell is comparable. So let's go ahead. This video you're about to see, it'll start with, after this introduction, it'll start with me mixing the two. Another concern about this resin is it has to be 75 degrees, both part A and part B, before you can mix them together. So I use a heater. If the weather is too cold, I just use my heat gun. Once they reach 77 degrees or so, I go ahead and mix them and mix in my colors. It says to mix them for 5 minutes. I run a timer and I do mix them for 5 minutes, and it usually takes 3 to 4 minutes in order for it to start to turn clear. So it is a great alternative. It's a little bit cheaper than some of the bigger resin companies. I'm still a Lumilite fan, and I'll continue to use those for my pen blanks and my handle blanks. But whenever I miscalculate the amount of resin that I need for a board or another large project, I have molds set to the side, and I go ahead and I fill those. And so the handle blanks, the bottle stopper blanks and stuff that I have made is because I've miscalculated the amount of resin that I need. So go ahead, and your mileage may vary. So I use Lumilite's volume calculator in order to come up with the amounts that I need, and I have missed it each time I've done it. So I am getting better at it. So it just takes practice. Again, they asked me to be an affiliate. I told them I would not do it until after I tested the product. I have tested it. I'm happy with it, and I will continue to use it. There's a affiliate link in the description of this video, as there was in the last video. You use webfoot10 and you get 10% off of your order. So if you're interested in trying it, just go ahead and use webfoot10 and you will save 10% of the cost from the product. So I hope you enjoy the video, and thank you for stopping by. Please leave a comment. I answer all the comments. I read them all. I answer them. Share with your family and friends if you would. I'm trying to grow the channel, so I'm not trying to make any money off of it, but I would like to get it up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So far I have been, my goal has been 500 by February, or not February, but April or May, and I may reach that. So please, if you would, go ahead and help me all you can. Share, comment, hit the like button, subscribe, and there is a button in there, a link in my description that takes you directly to the subscribe button. So if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and help me out and just click that. It don't cost you anything, and it sure helps me out. So let's go ahead and get to the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for stopping by.